at the Math Science Lab. Have you ever tasted ocean water and noticed that it's salty? The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, and its salty water is one of its most defying features. But why is the ocean salty, and where does the salt come from? Today, we're going to dive in to the science behind the salty seas and how nature's processes keep the ocean tasting like it does. The saltiness of the ocean comes from tiny pieces of rocks and minerals that get washed into the sea. Over millions of years, rain, rivers, and even underwater volcanoes have added to the salt in the ocean, making it salty and unique. Let's explore these processes and find out how the ocean turned into a giant salty soup of minerals. If you're ready to go on this salty ocean adventure, I am definitely ready, so let's go! Salt enters the ocean through a process called weathering. When it rains, the water mixes with carbon dioxide in the air, making the rain slightly acidic. As this rainwater flows over rocks, it breaks down minerals, including salt. These tiny bits of salt get carried by rivers and streams way to the ocean. The ocean collects all of this salt from rivers over millions of years. Unlike rivers, the ocean doesn't have an outlet to flush away the salt, so it just keeps accumulating, making the water salty. So, to better understand weathering, let's do an activity. For this activity, we're going to be demonstrating how weathering works. Here's what you need. You'll need some lemon juice, some water, 2 bowls, and some chalk. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break my chalk up into smaller pieces. Okay, now I'm going to put these pieces in each of my bowls. All right, so now that I have some chalk in each of my bowls, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pour some lemon juice into one of the bowls over the chalk and then water into the other bowl over the chalk. Okay, let's see what happens with the water side first. So I'm just going to pour my water directly over the chalk. Now, let's see if there's a difference in the lemon juice. So let's pour that directly over the chalk. Okay, so as you can see on the lemon juice side, the blue is starting to deteriorate more, making what was once a yellow color now a green color. But the water one hasn't really deteriorated that much versus this one that has a lot. Okay, so using the lemon juice and the chalk, we demonstrated how acid breaks down rocks, releasing minerals including salt into rivers, and then eventually into the ocean. It shows how weathering plays a key role in making the ocean salty. Let's move on and learn more about the river's role in making the ocean salty. Let's go! Rivers are like nature's delivery system, carrying dissolved salts and minerals from land to sea. As rivers flow over rocks and soil, they pick up tiny particles of salt. Although the amount of salt in river water is small, over millions of years, all these little tiny bits add up. When river water reaches the ocean, it carries all of these salts with it. And since the ocean doesn't have any way to release the salt, it just keeps getting saltier as more rivers add their minerals in. Let's do an activity where we take a look at the salt journey from river to ocean. Let's go! Okay, so for this activity, we're going to be demonstrating the salt journey from river to ocean. Here's what you need. You'll need some salt, some stones, and then something like a tray. So the first thing we need to do is place the stones on the tray to imitate the land. So we can kind of line them up like a river if we want to. Okay, and then we're going to sprinkle salt over them. Okay, so this part of the tray is going to be our river, and this part over here is going to be our ocean. What we're going to be seeing is the salt journey from the river to the ocean. To do that, we're going to pour some water on this side, and then watch as the water goes to this side, the salt will go with it. So let's take a closer look at this. Okay, so we have our salt on our land, and this is our river, and this big part here is our ocean. So let's take some water and pour it here and watch as it flows through the river, taking all of the salt with it to the ocean. Are you ready? Okay, 3, 2, 1. Let's let the river flow. Look, all of the salt is starting to wash away into the ocean. Isn't that cool? So just like we witnessed with our little mini ocean and river here, the river takes the salt from the rocks and takes it all the way into the ocean. But the ocean doesn't have a way to send it out, so it all just stays sitting there. The more the river runs, the more salt is going to be put into the ocean. So this was really cool to help us actually see what that looks like. So let's learn more as to why the salt doesn't go away. So unlike rivers and lakes, the ocean doesn't have an outlet that allows water to flow out easily. When water evaporates from the ocean's surface to form the clouds, the salt doesn't go with it. Instead, it just stays behind, making the remaining water even saltier. This process of evaporation and no exit means the ocean keeps accumulating salt over time. As more water evaporates, more salt is left behind, maintaining the ocean's salty nature. To better understand evaporation and the salt being left behind, let's do another activity. Let's go! In this activity, we're going to be seeing what happens to salty water after the evaporation process. Here's what you need. You'll need a shallow tray or a bowl, some water, and salt. What we're gonna do is add about a cup of water to our little bowl here. And then we're gonna add about a tablespoon of salt and let it dissolve. And then just kind of let it mix up and let the salt dissolve. The next thing we need to do is find a warm spot where there is some sunlight and then wait. Once it's exposed to sunlight for a while, it'll actually start to evaporate. And then we'll see what's left behind. So we should see all of the water has disappeared because it evaporated, but left behind is this salty residue because the salt doesn't go with the water when it evaporates. Just like how in the ocean, when its water evaporates to form clouds, all of the salt stays behind. So rivers aren't the only reason the ocean is salty. Let's move on and learn about something else that helps with its saltiness. Let's go! Ocean saltiness isn't just from rivers. It also comes from underwater volcanoes and hydrothermal vents. These vents release hot, mineral-rich water from deep within the earth into the ocean. This water contains lots of dissolved minerals, including salt. These undersea processes add to the ocean's saltiness by releasing new minerals that mix with the water. This constant addition of minerals keeps the ocean full of salts and other elements. I don't know about you, but hearing the word volcano gets me super excited to do a really cool activity. Let's go! So for this activity, we're gonna be creating our very own volcano. Here's what you need. You'll need some baking soda, a plastic bottle, some vinegar, and some food coloring. So we're gonna fill our bottle about halfway full of vinegar. The next thing I'm gonna do is put some food coloring in there because I want it to look cool. Now, for this next part, this is where it gets volcanic and the exciting part. So we're gonna take our baking soda and we're gonna add a scoop of it into the bottle, and then we're gonna observe and see what happens. Are you ready? Okay, on the count of 3, we're gonna add it to the bottle, and it's going to be our very own volcano in a bottle. 1, 2, and 3. Whoa, look at it go, look at it go. Look at that, it's gushing everywhere. That was so awesome. We had our very own volcano has. And when those underwater volcanoes start exploding and erupting, it adds more minerals, including salt, to the ocean to help add to its saltiness. Although I would love to do this again, we have some more things to learn about why the ocean is so salty. Let's talk about fruits. While fruits don't add salt to the ocean, they can help us understand how water and minerals mix. Fruits like lemons and orange contain natural acids that can mimic the process of dissolving minerals. Just like how lemon juice can make things taste different, salt changes the flavors and properties of water. So using fruits, we can see how nature mixes different components to create new flavors and compositions. Similar to the ocean, salt changes its taste and texture. So let's do an activity where we can learn more about this. For this activity, we're going to be understanding how fruit can help us better understand the ocean saltiness. Here's what you need. You'll need oranges and a lemon, some small cups, salt, and water. The first thing that we need to do is grab an adult to help us cut up our lemon and an orange. Now that we have our orange slices and our lemon slices, let's move on to the next step. Let's grab a couple of our cups. Let's add some water to each of the cups. So we're going to then squeeze some orange juice into one cup. Okay, now let's squeeze some lemon juice into the other cup. Now that we have some lemon juice and some orange juice, let's first taste them. Nice and orangey. Now the lemon one. Very lemony, very refreshing. Now let's add just a pinch of salt to both of those. Now taste them. Definitely different. Especially that one. With the salt and the lemon, it's a lot more sour. So this helps us understand how adding just a couple components like salt changes the properties and taste of water. Now we kind of understand how the salt changes the properties of the ocean. The ocean's saltiness is a fascinating journey through nature's processes, from rain breaking down rocks to rivers delivering minerals and underwater volcanoes adding their own ingredients. Each step contributes to the ocean's salty flavor, making it a unique and essential for marine life. Understanding why the ocean is salty helps us appreciate how our planet works, with each process playing a part in creating the world we know. Next time you're at the beach or you see the ocean, remember the incredible natural journey that makes the ocean salty and special. I don't know about you guys, but I had a lot of fun learning about why the ocean is so salty with you today. I can't wait to see you back here next time with me at the Mad Science Lab. Bye!